Hi, welcome to this brief tutorial on the Supervisory Refresher course, Team Exercise. The purpose of this tutorial is to introduce you to the exercise and how you can use Blackboard to complete it. What you're looking at here is my Blackboard landing page. I'm going to scroll to the My Courses section and access the Supervisory Refresher course. Remember, your course and your landing page will look different. This is the landing page for the course. There are a few things I want to point out to you about the team exercise. If you use a navigation panel to navigate to day 1, halfway down the page you see this entry here. It gives you an overview of not only the team exercise, but it also gives you hyperlinks to the documents containing your team's employees. All you have to do is click on one of the hyperlinks. Clicking on the hyperlink will bring you to a PDF file like this one here, which, as you can tell by the icons below, you can save or print. A quick scroll through the document shows you a number of employees on this team. It's a good idea to read through this before working with your teammates so that you have a good idea of the notional employees you'll be working with throughout the week. Back on the Blackboard landing page for the team exercise under day 1, not only do you have the hyperlinks that I just showed you, in addition, at the bottom of that notation, you'll see another hyperlink which will take you to a document that you can use for a template for your submission at the end of the week. Let's go there now. You can see when I click on that hyperlink, instead of bringing me straight to a PDF file, clicking on this hyperlink takes us to an option to save or open the template. Because I already have this form, I'm simply going to open it. Feel free to save this for your purposes. This is the template for the team exercise. You can see this is a great tool to submit your team assignment at the end of the week. Use this document as a living document throughout the week, and then upload it at the end of the week when you're ready to submit to your instructor. Before we move on to where you're supposed to submit your document, let's look at what else you're supposed to do throughout the week as a team. On days 2, 3, and 4 of the class, we've provided you with areas to kind of spur discussion amongst you and your teammates. So let's take a look at one of the examples now so you have an understanding of what I'm talking about. Again, using the navigation panel, let's go to day 2. This is the landing page for day 2. You'll find the team exercise information at the bottom of the page. Here you see the team exercise discussion board. Following a short narrative, you'll see that there are 6 questions that we ask you and we want you to think about as you enter your discussions with your teammates. All of your teammates should be thinking about these questions. Each day of the team exercise, we'll have a series of 6 different questions to get you thinking about your team of notional employees. Note what we tell you in the narrative. This is designed to stimulate conversation with you and your teammates, whether you're using the discussion boards to talk, or if you're meeting in person, or if you're doing a teleconference. You don't necessarily have to answer the 6 questions that we've listed here. What we want you to do instead is we want you to get thinking about your notional employees and remember that overarching document that we want you to submit. We want you to take a comprehensive macro view of your notional employees, keeping in mind that using real-world employees is more than appropriate. Again, we remind you of non-attribution of your classwork. So please do not use the names of the real-world employees in the examples that you share. So what's next? You've read through the narrative, you've gone over the 6 questions, and you've got an idea of your thoughts on it. Again, take your mouse and hover over the hyperlink. Notice that your cursor now turns to a pointer. Click to access the discussion board. So now you're in the landing page for the team exercise discussion boards. As you can see, we have students segregated by West and East regions. Make sure that you click on the appropriate hyperlink. For the purposes of this tutorial video, we're going to use the West region hyperlink. Simply hover over the thread name and you will see your cursor change to a pointer, like so. Click it to access the discussion boards. This is the discussion board interface. Blackboard has recently undergone an upgrade, so if you've taken a class with us before, this interface might look slightly different. Again, the lead thread is just reminding you that this is for West Region students. The master thread is below, where I instruct you to find your team thread and begin posting, dialoguing, and sharing. At this point, I'm going to stop and give you a small thread management tip. If you scroll down underneath this day 2 thread here, you'll see that each team has an area to reply to. You'll see here in day 2 that I've replied in a test manner to the master thread with my test message. Now imagine if team 2 has 5 students assigned to it and they're having a heated yet professional debate on the discussion board thread. Imagine how long that thread would become. If you're assigned to team 3 and below, it might quickly become cumbersome for you to navigate past all of that. Unless you're extremely interested in reading other teams' input, I would highly recommend that you utilize the master thread hide option that you can see over here on the right side of the screen. When you click on that, it will hide all current and future responses to those threads. You can see that now that I've clicked on it, it hides my test response. You can always go back and show those responses. So let's say you're assigned to Team 3. Again, this is the Day 2 discussion because it's under the Day 2 thread. Again, you'll notice that these 6 questions are the same that you had back on the Blackboard Day 2 landing page. We're asking you the same thing. What we wanted is just another quick reference for you to reflect back on in the middle of posting a message to the thread board. It may not be intuitive to find out how you reply to that, so let me walk you through that very simple process real quick. If you belong to Team 3, you would hover your mouse over the narrative box. You can see that though my mouse is static, the reply, quote, edit, and delete options are active for me. Obviously, I want to reply to this message. So I simply click reply, and you can see that a narrative box is dropped down for me. There's my succinct reply. Obviously, yours will be more well thought out. If I need to share something with my classmates, I can do that with the variety of tools that you can find in our other tutorial video on the subject. When I'm ready to submit, I just click submit. Again, remember, if your response is running long, you can always use the save draft option to save your work before it's lost. I'm going to submit though. And now you can see that my response has posted to the Day 2 Team 3 thread. How can I tell? Simply looking at my response, you can see that it is indented from the master thread. That shows you that it's a subordinate response to the master thread. If a classmate wanted to respond to me, all they would have to do is scroll to my thread, navigate their cursor over the thread, and you can see that the options become available. And that's how you post to your team exercise discussion boards. Before you go, let's take a second to look at the other day's links to make sure you're comfortable. Using the navigation panel, I'm going to navigate to Day 3. There you can see the team exercise discussion board link. Again, just clicking that hyperlink will take you straight to the discussion board. You can see it's the same discussion board, and now when I go back onto Day 3 as a West Region student, I want to make sure that I look for the Day 3 thread before I respond. You can see with all these teams, that could be a cumbersome project. Use the hide option when available. Back to the navigation panel, I'm going to click on Day 4 to show you where the thread is there. This is the Day 4 page. Again, we will scroll down to the bottom of the page right before the daily feedback to find the discussion board. Once we've participated and posted to the discussion boards, the team assignment has to be submitted to your instructor. Remember, even if you don't use the discussion board, a classmate needs to document each day's discussions and submit in a daily post. They can submit straight into the body of the post, or they can attach a Word document. For the final submission, however, we need you to submit that Word document template that we provided back on Day 1. How do you submit your team assignment? Go back to the navigation bar and you'll find your assignment submission link under Day 5, Assignments and Recap. Here's the Day 5 landing page, and you'll see the team assignment deliverable is the second hyperlink down. And here you can see the team exercise deliverables hyperlink in discussion board format. Just like you've been doing all week, hover over the thread name and click the hyperlink. And this is where you'll submit your final team exercise project. Simply clicking reply to the master thread will open the narrative box. Notice that we ask you to put your team number in the subject line. We do not want you to copy and paste your team document into this narrative box. Instead, just write a short message and that will suffice. Also, use the paperclip or the Browse My Computer option to attach your Word document and then click submit when you're ready to submit to your instructor. Once you're done with that, you can either click the OK button or use the navigation panel to navigate out of the discussion board. I'm going to click the OK button, and you can see it takes me right back to the discussion board landing page. That's all there is to using Blackboard discussion boards for your team exercise for the Supervisory Refresher course. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact your instructor or your assistant instructor. Thank you for taking the time to view this tutorial video.